article of the Creed, the forgiveness of sins. 1. What does the 10th article of the Creed teach? The 10th article of the Creed teaches that in the Catholic Church we can obtain the forgiveness of sins and the remission of the punishment due to them. 2. Can all sins be forgiven in the Catholic Church? Yes, all sins, without exception, can be forgiven in the Catholic Church. 3. How are sins forgiven in the Catholic Church? Sins are forgiven through the merits of Jesus Christ applied to the repentant sinner, chiefly in the sacraments of baptism and penance. Quote, "Whatsoever you shall loose upon earth shall be loosed also in heaven." St. Matthew 18:18. Application. Avoid sin, but if you have sinned, do not despair, for through God's infinite mercy and the merits of Christ you can obtain pardon. Only have a sincere desire to amend, and use the means left by Christ. See Sacrament of Penance. The 11th article of the Creed, the resurrection of the body. 1. What happens to man at his death? The soul, separated from the body, appears before the judgment seat of God, while the body returns into dust. 2. How long shall the body remain separated from the soul? The body shall remain separated from the soul till the day of the last judgment, when God will reunite it to the soul and raise it to life. Quote, "The hour cometh, wherein all that are in the grave shall hear the voice of the Son of God, and they that have done good things shall come forth into the resurrection of life, but they that have done evil unto the resurrection of judgment." End quote. St. John, verse 28-29. 3. What do we call this raising of the body to life? The resurrection of the body. 4. Shall all bodies be alike when raised to life? No. The bodies of the wicked shall be hideous and wretched, while the bodies of the good shall be glorious and happy. Marked with an X is 5. Why shall the body rise again? That as the body took part in good or evil works, so also it may share in the reward or punishment. Application. Never abuse your eyes, tongue, ears, hands, or other members by doing evil. Do not pamper your body, keep it in subjection by Christian abnegation, that it may one day rise to everlasting glory. Christian burial, cemeteries. The 12th article of the Creed, and life everlasting. Amen. 1. What does the 12th article of the Creed teach? The 12th article of the Creed teaches that after this life there is another in heaven, in which the just shall enjoy eternal happiness. 2. What is heaven? Heaven is the place of perfect and everlasting happiness. Marked with the Nexus 3. In what does the happiness of the just in heaven consist? The happiness of the just in heaven consists, 1. In the vision of God and union with Him by perfect love. 2. In freedom from all evil and the blissful society of the angels and saints. Quote, "Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord." St. Matthew 25:21. Quote, "Eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath it entered into the heart of man, what things God hath prepared for those that love Him." 1 Corinthians 2:9. 4. Shall all the just in heaven be equally happy? No. Every one shall be rewarded according to his labors and merits. Quote, "And every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor." End quote. 1 Corinthians 3:8. 5. Shall not the damned also live forever? The damned shall live forever in hell, where they shall be miserable for all eternity. Example, the rich man in hell. St. Luke 16. 6. What is hell? Hell is the place of everlasting, unspeakable misery and torment. Christ calls it, quote, "a place of torments," end quote. St. Luke 16:28, quote, "an everlasting punishment," end quote. St. Matthew 25:46, quote, "an unquenchable fire," end quote. St. Mark 9:44, quote, "the exterior darkness, where there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth," end quote. St. Matthew 8:12. Marked with an X is 7. In what does the misery of the damned consist? The misery of the damned consists 1. In the loss of God and of the joys of heaven, 2. In the most intolerable torments of body and soul, 3. In the company of the devils and of all the damned. Quote, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, etc. End quote, St. Matthew 25:41. Marked with an X is 8. How do we know that the pains of the damned are eternal? 1. We know it from the clear testimony of Christ and the apostles. 2. From the plain teaching of the infallible Church. Quote, And they shall go into everlasting punishment. End quote, St. Matthew 25:46. Quote, Their worm dieth not, and the fire is not extinguished. End quote, St. Mark 9:45. 9. Shall the pains of all the damned be equal? No. Each one shall suffer in proportion to his sins, and the bad use he has made of the graces bestowed on him. 10. Which are the 4 last things? The 4 last things are 1. Death, 2. Judgment, 3. Hell, and 4. Heaven. Quote, In all thy works remember thy last end, and thou shalt never sin. End quote, Ecclesiasticus 7:40. 11. What is the meaning of the word Amen, with which we conclude the Apostles' Creed? The meaning of the word Amen is, So be it, or This I firmly believe. Application. Often consider this serious truth. Quote, Once lost, forever lost. Quote, Momentary joy often leads to eternal pain, but short pain to eternal joy. End quote.